Right. A very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining from different parts of the country and different parts of the world. Um, I'm introducing here Global Professional Certifications, your gateway to global certifications. Everyone, Global Professional Certifications is an authorized IA learning partner in India to conduct training for certified internal auditor certification program. And today, the session is all about orientation program. So let me quickly set out the agenda for today's session. Um, Everyone, in terms of the orientation program today, what are we going to quickly cover? People who don't know me will have a quick introduction about me as Arpit Garg. So my name is Arpit Garg, everyone. I'll just quickly cover the introduction part. But before that, let me just quickly set out the agenda for today's session. We'll be looking at the complete overview of the CIA courses, which is where we will be talking about what are the steps to become a CIA, what are the benefits of becoming a IA member, and what is the exam fee part wise. What is the registration process for with IIA? How many part exam is the CIA? What are the key topics that we learn in the CIA certification program? And everything in terms of the examination pattern. What is the examination pattern? When can we give the exam? How much is the examination cost? What in case we are not able to clear? What's the window of cooling off period? Everything in terms of your examination, the related aspect we'll be talking about in today's orientation program. Aside this, it's very important before we get into any program, it's very important to understand the kind of work that we can probably get benefit out of any program, right? So we'll talk about something which is very, very interesting is called as Risk Galaxy. People, this is something which is the different service lines or different kinds of solutions that we can provide to our clients or we can work back with various teams within our organization and look for these kind of job openings or opportunities in the market, wherein in all those kind of service lines, CIA can play a good role and give an entry point there. Or if you're already working professional, it will give an edge in your career moves on and in your better deliverables for your clients for your existing organization. So it's going to be overall helpful across different service lines, and that is something that I'll be talking about in the Risk Galaxy section, which talks about various service areas for us as professionals. We can be inclined to work when we have done CIA program. People, of course, any program is backed with the very thorough uh, research on the content that we learn through in the process. So we will definitely touch upon the study material aspect on what are we going to learn from, what will be the source of content, how this classes are going to be about, what is the approach towards the sessions. So we'll talk about everything in that context. And most of you would have heard somewhere about the new global audit standards, which got applicable from May 2025 for the CIA part-wise exam. We'll touch upon the key dates. We'll talk about applicability. We'll also talk about the impact of changes in the CIA certification process. This is all that we're going to cover. So once I've covered all of this, we'll have an open Q&A session. We'll try and do everything in 45 minutes of the time. So in case you think that I'm going anywhere fast, please feel free to stop me. And you will have access to the recording any which way. So don't worry if you have missed something, right? So you can always recollect in terms of the recording if you skip something hereafter. And then, of course, I would request sincerely to hear me out fully, because don't jump into terms of the questions. Once I've covered end to end all the aspects, happy to take up any queries towards the end of the sessions, right? So this is all that we're going to cover, everyone. That should give you pretty much good clarity in terms of the whole program. So let me quickly start with the introduction now, everyone. So people who don't know me, everyone, I am Arpit Garg. I am a chartered accountant. Requesting everyone to please keep yourself on mute. All right. So coming back to it, everyone, I am Arpit Garg. I'm a chartered accountant, a certified internal auditor, a certified risk management assurance professional, and a certified information system auditor. I bring over 1.5 decade experience in risk assurance and advisory domain. I started back my career in 2011, right from the foundation part of my CA articleship from Sahani Natarajan and Behel, one of the pioneer Indian firm in the domain of assurance and advisory, which is where the entire foundation got laid. After that, I moved to Genpact ERC, one of the global enterprises consulting firm. I had a stint of three and a half years with Genpact ERC, and then I went to EY India. So I was there about for a year in EY as well. Uh, Post which I was always inclined to start something of my own, and that's where I ventured a firm called Riskman Consulting. So since 2019, I've been running a full-fledged risk consulting firm. I'm based out of Gurgaon, and you can see my credentials and my phone number on the slide itself. So feel free to connect if you have any queries after the orientation program as well. Uh, People, aside from running a full-fledged consulting firm, I've been taking CIE sessions for almost 5 years now, and I have uh, decently good experience in terms of the various types of assignments that are conducted in the overall gambit of risk assurance advisory, be it internal audits to IFCs to SOX to third-party risk management to ISO certifications, cyber, IT risk, data analytics, and project management in terms of digital transformation. So, worked across various companies, large corporates, throughout my career, across industries, be it automobile, pharma, telecom, edtech, retail, FMCG, technology, health insurance, engineering, procurement, construction industry, and so on and so forth. In terms of the geographies, I've got an opportunity to work in the US and Middle East and multiple countries in the APAC region. So that's very, very brief about me, everyone. This is all me. And now I would like to share you the mentor journey that I have gone through for the CIA program, which is going to be very relevant for you. So back in 2019, everyone, when I left job with EY, and it was right in the era of COVID 2020, when I started my own venture. At the same time, I started taking some voluntary sessions for CIA. So right from beginning 2020 to 2022, for the first 2 years, I was taking these sessions all free of cost, and probably trained more than 100 odd folks for CIA training, of which 50 plus people appeared and become the CIA as well. And then the next stint started in 2022 when the IA India came up with the first learning partner program, and which is where Vinod Gupta Learning Destination VGLD became the first IA learning partner in India, and that's where I got associated with VGLD for good 3 plus years and have trained over 1,000 odd professionals on the CIA Partwise exam between 2022 to 2024. Um, Everyone, parallelly, I'm sure some of you would know a pattern of CIA into two terms. One is the part-wise exam, and the other being the challenge exam. So, part-wise exams, training sessions I was conducting for VGLD between 22 to 24, and at the same time, back in 2023, when the first time the CIA challenge exam came in, again, I took couple of free voluntary sessions for CI challenge exam, but then again there was an associationship that got started with IA Bombay. So since 2023, we have conducted over 7 batches now, trained over 200 odd people for CI challenge exam, and and have a overall success rate of over 75% for these 200 odd folks. So which means that nearly 100 and 150 more plus CIAs have been qualified under the CI challenge exam in the last 2 3 years. People people requesting everyone to please take care of keeping yourself on mute. Um, Aside this, everyone, back in December 2024 now, just last year, in less than a year period, I got associated with Global Professional Certifications, which also became an IA authorized learning partner. And since then, we have crossed over 275 plus enrollments in nearly 9 months' time. We have got 50 plus CIAs already in this time period who have appeared and cleared the exam. And this is going to be our second batch in the new syllabus. So we have in total 3 batches that has got completed, one in the old syllabus and then another one in the new syllabus, and now this is going to be the third batch that will be running under the Global Professional Certification banner, and this will be the second batch for the new syllabus. So that's very, very brief in terms of the journey for the CIA, which gives you the context from where this calls all got started back in 2022 to now in 2025, where we stand, and what sort of experience comes in terms of delivering these sessions. So, people, this is about the journey. I'll now come out straight away to the course because I know you all have been joining this on a weekend, respecting everyone's time. People straight away coming now to the CIA program. I'm sure before joining this, you would have heard about the term called Certified and Auditor. Just to enlighten you, everyone, this is one of the flagship program of IIA, and only recognized by IIA, which through also comes from the global. body. So just to give the context, people who don't know, I there is something called IA Global, and then there are country-wise recognition, country-wise II. For example, in we have II India, we have II UAE, we have II Singapore, we have II Australia, and so on and so forth. And within this respective countries, we also have chapters. For example, in India, we have Delhi chapter, we have Bombay chapter, we have Calcutta chapter, we have Hyderabad chapter, we have Madras chapter, we have Bangalore chapter, and so on and so forth. So we have multiple chapters in India. Basically, when we enroll for the membership of being an IA member, we get associated with a respective chapter. For example, if I'm in Delhi, I become a Delhi chapter member, and likewise, if you're in Bangalore or if you're in Mumbai, you become a Bangalore-based chapter, Mumbai-based chapter. It's good to be associated with a chapter which is closer to you in terms of the city that you're staying in, because whatever happens in that chapter, you are generally invited for that and you get better networking opportunities there. And a lot of programs for the local chapters are conducted free of cost. So that is also another thing where you can get an edge on. Aside this, everyone, overall, you become an IA India member and the global member. So all the certification program that is conducted is not at a chapter level or a country level, but it is done at a global level. So your membership ID is global, your pass out score is global, and you're recognized globally in terms of certified as a CIA course. People, irrespective if it is CIA Challenge or CIA Partwise, it's one of the same certification. It's not that CIA Challenge has a different credential versus Partwise. It is recognized as one and the same thing. All right, so this is CIA. It's like I said, it's one of the flagship program and is the most recognized program in the domain of internal audit. People, now coming on to the next slide, which talks about why do we become certified. And this is the survey result everyone done by globally, which says that 94% of the chief audit executives believe that if anyone has to be in employee domain, generally CIA is more preferred certification as compared to other certification, be it CPA, be it CISA, be it CFE. Just to give you a thought process on why it is so, because CIA generally covers everything that is there in CISA and to some extent what is also there in CFE from a conceptual and key learning standpoint of view. See, CFE also has certain laws and regulations that are critical from a fraud and forensic standpoint of view, but CIA largely touch upon all of it. When I say that CISA is very, very specialized into IT and information security, CFE is more linked to fraud and forensics, while CIA cover the holistic angle of everything in terms of emerging risk. And CAPA again focus on the overall for aspect, and it's much inclined towards the either the SOC side of it, which is on the IT side of it, or it is then more largely focusing on the US tax or the US audit of the PCOB or listed entities like that. So in all that context, CIA becomes much more superseding certification for people who have to be in internal audit. And more than 70 odd percent of the CAs prefer to hire CIAs in their team with the better salaries globally recognized. So this is why we become certified, and people, based on my personal past experience of 5 years, I think the need has significantly changed. Now the people really want to kind of not just do CIA, but also want to complete other certifications. And it's more like embedding. If even after CIA challenge exam coming in, a lot of senior folks, because it was a one-shot exam, a lot of senior folks have also appeared and cleared. So even in Indian context, people, CIA is becoming much more like an edge, because I've personally taught over 1,500 odd students or members by now on the CIA certification overall. So there is definitely a need that has come, and a lot of people are aspiring for this and have achieved it and are pushing back to their juniors now to do it. And globally, though, there's no second thought that CIA is even supreme and considered as an equalization course for everyone to come at one level and considered as a benchmarking across the teams also. So if we talk about Middle East, everyone is sort of mandated that if unless you are a CIA, it is very difficult to even enter a job or look for a job opportunity or get even promotions there. So with all that context, CIA has taken its own prevalence, and personally, because I've been not just like a trainer, but 15 odd years I've been doing the work. Even now, I am a consultant along with my team who delivers for the client. I personally feel where after doing CIA and continuous reading about the subject, it gives a much better conversation tone to the clients and to the stakeholders, and the deliverables that we submit is far better than what we used to do before not being a CIA. So that's in terms of the practical context that I've shared everyone. Now coming in terms of the steps to become the CIA and what is the fee and a cost that may be involved. So everyone, let me first cover the steps and then I'll talk about the fee. So everyone, in order to start your CIA journey, you have to be minimum a bachelor qualified, which means that either a BCom or a BBA kind of a qualification you should at bare minimum have. If you have a master degree, nothing like that. For example, if you're a MCom or MBA or maybe having a professional degree like a CA, CPA, CCA, it's lovely. The only difference that happens between a bachelor degree versus a master degree is the number of years of experience that you need, which is not an entry requirement, but it's an exit requirement. What does it mean, Arpit, in terms of exit requirement? It means that let's say you just based on your bachelor degree, you can enroll for the CIA course. You can give your part one, part two, part three. But by the time you clear all the parts and all the results will be valid, it is just that your certificate of CIA will be issued once you submit a declaration on your portal that you have completed your 2 years of experience if you're just a graduate, or 1 year of experience if in case you have a master degree in the domain of risk assurance advisory. And now when I say domain of risk assurance advisory, it could be first line as an internal, sorry, it could be second line as a team part of risk management teams or sustainability teams or maybe operational risk team. And it could be part of your third line, which is like you have been part of employee team. And that could be including your articleship experience also, if anyone who is coming from a CA interqualified. So it's also a declaration based verification, which means that you declare on the portal and it is submitted to either your supervisor to acknowledge that you have actually gone through you have experience in internal audit, uh, or similar fields, or you have submitted to any other qualified CIA members to act as a proof of experience. You don't have to really submit some letter of undertaking from the organization that you're working with. It is just a declaration based proof, either from your supervisor or any other qualified CIA member. So that's in terms of the entry requirement and the experience that is needed, everyone. Of course, once you enroll for this course, you have to submit your proof of identity, educational documents to get your account created, right? So these are the steps. Now, in terms of the uh, exam, everyone, you once you registered for the CIA program, you have 3 years to complete it. So, for example, if you are now sitting on 29th of November 2025 and you enroll for CIA program today, then you have total 3 years to complete this all three parts: part one, part two, part three. All right. While in general, if you ask me, it takes not more than 6 to 8 months. I mean, that is also on the maximum side of it, which by which you can easily achieve it. We have seen people clearing it into 60 to 90 days also, all three parts. Of course, they have diverted much more time and they've been much more rigorous in their approach, but yes, it has been achievable for them, and so can be achievable for you all also. It's just that they have leveraged the recordings of the classes to kind of expedite their learning process and appear for the exam. But other than that, 6 to 9 months is good sufficient time to kind of appear and clear the CIA course. But still, CIA gives you 3 years to complete it. So that's in terms of the overall timeline. But everyone, how does it work? Let's say you have three parts: part one, part two, part three. You can appear in any sequence. So you can appear for part three first, then part two, then part one, or you can appear part two first, then part one, then part three, or whatever sequence you can follow. But it is generally advisable you go part wise: part one, part two, part three, because these are upbuilding parts, right? So part one related content becomes relevant for part two. Part one, part two related content sometimes also become relevant for part three as well. So in that context, it is always advisable to go part wise part. But let's say if you want to go with part two straight away, you can go. For part three, if you want to go straight away, you can go in that approach. In fact, what happens, everyone, once you pay the examination fee for each part exam, you have 180 days to schedule for the exam, which means that, okay, let's say today I have paid the exam fee. Do I need to immediately take the date of the exam? The answer is no. I have 180 days to register. So, and in between, I can register at any point of time. This exam has to be given from our nearest Pearson View Center. So, people, if you see here is a Pearson View Center, so you will have to search. about the nearest Pearson View Center, which generally comes in your Certificate Candidate Management System, CCMS, which is where you can see, okay, this is my nearest Pearson View Center, which is where you have to go and appear this exam. You can't give it from home. Now, everyone, you have to score. The most tricky part of this exam is that you have to score above 80% to clear, and that's makes this exam the most challenging exam among all the other global certifications. If you ask me, CFE certification, CFE pass percentage is much higher as compared to CIA. In fact, CISA pass percentage is much higher than CIA. So among all other global certifications, CIA becomes much tougher and so valuable that its overall pass percentages is comparatively low because of the passing score that we need is above 80%. And that's why this course has its own value and it becomes little tougher and it needs a better preparedness as compared to other certifications for to sort of complete this. People, there's no negative marking. For this exam, and in case we are not able to clear this exam, then we have 30 days window cooling off, after which we can retake the exam, but it's the same fee that we need to pay for the exam. In terms of the exam, people, this is a purely MCQ based exam. So for part one, we have 125 MCQs for which we have 2.5 hours to give the exam. And for part two and part three, we have 100 MCQs that comes in the exam, which means one question and four options, and you have to choose one best of it and then move forward. And you have just 120 minutes to do it. So you have 2 hours exam for part two, part three, and you have 2.5 hour exam for part one. No negative marking, but you need to score above 80% to clear this exam. I hope this is all clear, everyone. And everyone, the last piece is maintenance. So after you have completed your CIA journey, you have to still continuously annually renew your CIA certification, which is generally $35 annually. That what you have to pay along with your membership fee renewal, and plus 40 CP hours is something that you have to complete, which basically includes training programs that IA conducts, or you can do those trainings internally in your organization and sort of complete it. This also includes 2 hours of ethics training. Again, many of these trainings are done free of cost as part of the IIA training sessions that are conducted. So that's one of the benefit of being a member and leverage on the training, because eventually you will have to maintain the CP hours annually, which is 40 CP hours. So this is all in terms of the program, everyone. So you apply, you take a test. In terms of your exit requirement, before you get the certification, at least at that point of time, you should have your work experience of minimum 1 year for postgraduate, 2 years for non-postgraduate, and then step four is to continuously maintain year-on-year basis. So that's about the steps, everyone. Now coming on to the registration process with IIA and what is the recommended process. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to become an IA India member, or like let's say if you've joined globally, everyone, you have to become an IA local member. Let's say if you're in UAE, you will have to become an IA UAE member. If you are from US, you will have to look at the local chapters and become those members. Like I said, being a local chapter member helps because it helps you with connected with other professionals in your nearby community. So once you become an IA India member, it's a very simple form. I'll also give you all a coordinate of Chanchal Mishra from IA India, people from India. I'll give you a coordinate from Chanchal Mishra, to whom you can reach out to subscribe for the IA India membership. So for any new member, everyone, the cost is 6,500 plus GST. For and then you have an annual renewal fee which goes up 4,500 plus GST. Now this is something that you have to pay. There are benefits of it. One benefit is that the certification fee costs you less overall, and I'll talk about those numbers as well. At the same time, when you become a CIA, the maintenance fee is also less for a member versus non-member. And the third and the most important thing is, everyone, that you are part of such a large group wherein you get to know so many openings happening, so many opportunities, so many new learnings, so many new trainings, networking, events that are happening in terms of conferences. You get part of the community also. So it's always good to be a member that way and stay active there if you're part of the profession. So everyone, once your step one is completed, which is you have become a member to your local chapters, the step two is that you get a global membership ID. So here, this is where you will get an email from your IA Global, and generally it takes about 2 weeks to receive, not more than 2 weeks to receive this global membership ID once the above payment is done. Once this is done, then you have to create your account on the CCMS, everyone. That's called Certificate Candidate Management System. Here, these are the URLs, everyone. You can click on the URLs later and kind of look at it later. So this PPTs will also be uploaded, so you don't have to worry about that. You will have access to this. Or we will put it on the chat box also for you for the URLs which you can refer. And these are also part of the email, so don't worry for from all the matter. You will have access to all of it. So everyone, you will have to create your profile, and that's where you will upload your documents like proof of identity, proof of education, and then once you have done, you will also apply for your CIA course, which is where you will pay USD $106. I'll talk about the complete fee breakup on the next slide so that you have a complete visibility overall what is your cost. And once that is done, people, then that's whenever you're prepared for a respective part-wise exam, you make a payment and then you have 180 days to register for the exam. And then you go to your Pearson View tab in your CCMS and then take the date and go and appear on the examination day. So this is the step-by-step step for your registration to your exam journey. Now, if I have to talk a little bit about the fee, everyone. So for people who are global members, in fact, people who are non-members, if you look at non-members, fee is much higher. Application fee itself is $240 as compared to maybe an IA India fee being $90. And people who are members, let's say if you're an IA UAE member or other members, your fee is $120. So your the for non-members, let's say if you don't want to be a member and you want to go for the CIA course, it will cost you application fee will cost you $240. Exam fee for each part, part one will cost you $445. Exam fee for part two will cost you $415. Examination fee for part three will cost you another $415. However, if you are an I India member, any chapter, Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai, Kolkata, Hyderabad, any chapter, the application fee of CIA will cost you $90 without tax, and then $106 with tax because you have the GST implication in India. Then part one fee is $233 nearby, or with tax $274. Part two, part three is 248, including GST. For people, global members, not India members, for you the after membership, your application fee will be half, almost $120, and part one, part two, part three fee will be $310, 280, $280. So nearly you save about 700 plus dollar everyone if you only on the CIA journey if you are a member, right? So that's why, like I said, it's always good to be a member uh, versus not being a member, right? So that's the benefits of being IA members. Aside from the CIA certification exam fee, everyone, there is lot more that you can leverage on the IIA through IIA. Every chapter has so many events happening for their members, which you can subscribe for, which you can be part of, and that will give you so much of learning and networking events. That's so much of value it has, which cannot be measured in terms of the monetary value. So this is one thing, everyone. Now, I hope you're clear in terms of the context. So overall, if you ask me, everyone, there's the cost element of what you pay to IIA is first time 6,500 plus taxes, which is for membership, and then annually 4,500 plus taxes. And then for your CIA journey, you're paying nearly this uh, near to around eight nine hundred odd dollars is what you pay as including application fee, part wise fee, part one, part two, part three. Just for information, everyone, the first step that you will have to pay is application fee. Whenever you're ready for your exam, that is when you will pay part one. So it's not that you have to pay the whole fee in one go. Whenever you're ready for the exam, at that point of time, you'll pay and appear for the exam. So it's not that part one, part two, part three, all fee you have to pay in one go. It is the fee that whenever you're ready for the exam, that's when you can pay and then you can appear. So that's how the pricing works. And all of this fees goes to IIA. It doesn't goes to anyone else. This all fees goes to whom? This all fees goes to IIA. All right. So I hope this is clear, everyone. Now, since we have understood the costs, who provide this course, what is the how do we register for this? I'll straight away now come and talk about little bit in terms of what are we going to learn in the CIA journey. Everyone, the CIA journey is basically a three-part exam: part one, part two, part three. We generally use GLIM as a source of content for preparation, along with the additional content through the PPT slides that we have developed in-house based on the experience that we have got for the last 5 years. Plus, so it's a combination of slides plus it's a combination of GLIM content. So we have three parts: part one, part two, part three. Part one has 10 chapters and it is divided into four sections. Four sections is basically foundation of accounting, ethics and professionalism, the entire GRC, which is governance, risk management and control, and the fraud aspect of it. So, people, this is all about building up your foundations, fundamentals, and part two is all about practice of internal auditing. How do you do internal audits, right? From planning of engagement to gathering information to analyzing to evaluating to supervision to communicating results. Everything gets covered under part two, which is the practical side of how do we do audit. And part three is all about, let's say, if I am a chief audit executive, how do I manage my employee function, right? So then we understand what is audit plan, what is audit operation, what is quality of the function, what is results and monitoring follow-up aspect of it. So this is how the parts are divided, part one, part two, part three. This is in line to the new syllabus, everyone, which is valid from 28th of May 2025. Now, everyone, like I said, we have part one, 125 MCQs, part two, part three, 100 MCQs. Part one, we have 2.5 hours to appear. Part two and part three, we have 120 minutes, which is 2 hours for the exam. There's no break in this exam. If you want to take break, you can take, but that will be counted as part of your exam time. And then you need above 80% to clear this exam. Generally, you will get result then and there. So as soon as you appear the exam, same time you will get the result itself. Now, everyone, aside this, there's no negative marking, so you should always appear for all the MCQs and don't skip any of the MCQs in the exam. And time management is key for this exam. So it's very important to smartly learn on how do we eliminate options so that we can appear well for the exam. So that's all about the examination pattern. Now, everyone, this is a very, very interesting slide which I really like to share everyone. This talks about galaxy of services. A lot of us have a mindset that we are getting into employed, so we'll only talk about employed. But if you ask me, everyone, employed is a very, very large domain. Unlike other service industries, internal audit or risk assurance advice is a very large domain. Today, when we talk about being risk experts, being risk consultants, today we just don't talk about internal audit, but many of the other services are itself as unique and niche solutions today. When I say that, what does it mean? People, when we look at assurance today, we have companies wherein there are employment openings. There are SOX, which is Sarbani SOX, which links to the US listed companies generally, and then we have other countries SOX also. For example, we have Japanese SOX, we have UK also has come up with the SOX. Then so many other countries also have Canadian SOX. So there are so many SOX which generally focus on the ICFRPs. In India, we talk about it as an IFC, internal financial control. So this is an area where employers or we as CIAs can contribute a lot. Then there are due diligence areas, there are fraud forensic areas, there are concurrent auditors. All of this is assurance side of it wherein we can contribute. Aside this, people, there are now niche solutions and niche service lines. For example, you will see that there are ERM teams, which is enterprise risk management. There are TPRM teams, which is third party risk management. Then there are IT risk management teams. There is a control self assessment teams. There's a GRC teams. There is anti bribery, anti corruption, anti money laundering, credit risk, ISO certification, cybersecurity, digitization. So many things we can contribute to as functional experts, as people who have business understanding and can act as good risk consultants, right? Aside this, if you see, there are so many emerging areas like ESG, environment, social governance, data privacy, now the DPDP coming in India. In fact, all of this, and then the GDPR, California Consumer Privacy Act, even the normal other laws, everything we can contribute to. And this is all on the compliance solution assurance side of it. Everyone, we also have consulting, typical consulting like SOPs, automation, business excellence, re-engineering. All of these can be something wherein we can all take participate on. So when we talk about CIA as a subject, everyone, anything that is happening across all of these areas that you see on the service line is something that you can enter into, or it can be act as your galaxy of services that you can provide to your clients, or within your organization you can contribute on these areas, right? If you are an employed head yourself, all of this is something that you can contribute in your own in the company that you're working with. So your horizon, your service line, your your own value or your department value increases much much more when you work around these spaces, and you can effectively contribute for the benefit of the organization and your clients, right? So that's where this certification helps you overall. So I hope this is clear in terms of where does the relevance of this course really act in terms of the practical side of it. Now, everyone, now coming in terms of the study material. Now, Arpit, you have told us about yourself, you have told about the course, you have told about the examination, you have told about the relevance in terms of the field. Now tell me, Arpit, you have also told me about the cost element. Now, can you also tell me how do we move forward in terms of this? What will be the study material that we will use? How will the session series help? And so on and so forth. So let me break that down also for you, everyone. So in terms of the glimpse, like I said, our source of study material in principally will be Glim, but our approach is slightly different from the much other players in the much other players that way. So people, first of all, let me touch upon the study material. So you will all get digital books for each parts. We don't give printed books. You can take a print by yourself. The reason why we don't give print is everyone, every year there's a new edition that comes. So we are already sitting in 2025. Next year, 2026, there will be a new edition. It's very difficult to give a new edition, printed books again and again because there's a cost element. These are all licensed content, so it involves a lot of expensive cost for everyone, and that's where we prefer to give subscription to the digital content, which is where you get the digital books. If you want to subscribe, if you want to take a print, generally I think print option is available, so you can yourself take a print at your level. So you will get access to digital books for each parts of of Glim content, as well as you get a Glim software access wherein you get access for 18 months, and access to more than 1,000 plus MCQs for nearly each part. So generally for your part one, part two, the questions are much more. Part three is a smaller part because we only have six chapters. So here we have 600, 700 odd questions, but part two alone will have 1,500 odd questions or maybe more. And part one will have 1,000 plus questions, everyone. So you can practice this question unit wise, even topic wise also. So once you have done this, everyone, aside this, you will also get the concept building and summarized PPT slides, which have been prepared by me based on the experience. And this will act as your summary slide overall, and that gives you everything on the plate. What you need to focus, what are the keywords, what are the key things to remember, everything. In fact, towards the end of the session series, this becomes much, much more important for your preparation as compared to even the whole book, because everything is summarized here and that acts also as a revision for you. People, everything that we are doing gets recorded and it gets uploaded on the LMS, and that's where you can look at these sessions and then you can also practice MCQs on the portal and get access to it. So I'll just show you everyone how does this work. I'll just show so everyone, in terms of Glim question bank, you will have to subscribe for it and then only I can show you. But you generally get the activation codes once you have subscribed for it. I'll just show you how does the Global Professional Certification LMS works. So let me just show you once this. So everyone, once you enroll for the course, you will get access to your Global Professional Certification LMS, and that's where you get the access to a course. Like for example, here you will get, for example, part one. This was an old batch of like new syllabus first batch, which was in May 2025 completed. So you get something like this, which is having different sections. If you see, you have sections like recorded classes, PPT slides, MCQs, chapter wise, any other referral document that we have used in the class, additional MCQs, and in fact revisionary sessions that we do. So you get access to all of them. Now you can actually look at, like here also there's an orientation program. In future you will see what we are doing today. You will also see that orientation program in the next recorded video. And then you will have all these unit session videos. If you see, these are the session videos, and then you get access to all the PPT slides, and then you get access to all the MCQs chapter wise. And then beside this, you will also get additional MCQs also, everyone, which you can use. Like for example, these are additional MCQs, and then finally, if you also have some revision, you will also get access to revisionary sessions. So you more or less get everything, everyone, and any other referral document that we have used. Like for example, if you have looked at a practically how a charter looks like, how a competency framework looks like, how a business value chain process list looks like. So we will upload all of that for your reference wherever we can. So this is where this is how the LMS works, everyone, and this is how your this will also help you overall from a study standpoint of view. Now, everyone, what is our approach for the CIA preparation? So whenever we do session, we first start with what are we going to learn. So we have a clear perspective on each chapter, what are we going to learn. Then we talk about what are the key topics in that unit. Then we cover, once we have understood everything from the slides, we will then go to the GLIM study material, and then we will understand all the concepts with practical example. We'll also see wherever we can leverage with some of the industry knowledge so that we can become better professionals on the ground, not just from an exam point of view, but from a practical islands. Every session is completed with things to remember. What are the final takeaways? And then any new session that we begin, we revise the previous session first. And then we also practice a lot of MCQs. So I'll show you how the slides look like in the subsequent slides so that you get a fair view on how this is covered. So for example, everyone, when we start with Unit 1, we will start with something like this, that, okay, everyone, this is Unit 1. These are the chapters we are going to cover. These are the topics that we are going to learn in each chapter. And then we will get into the slides, which is something like this. Okay, Unit 1, these are the standards. And then we cover slides like this. In fact, if you see on the slides, a lot of things are underlined, a lot of things are highlighted. These are all illustrative slides, everyone. And then we also practice MCQs on the go, right? When we cover each topic. For example, when we've covered a topic on the code of ethics, now we are doing some questions on the code of ethics right in the class so that we are understanding on the go itself. Right? If you see, after every few topics, there is a MCQ slide that helps us to learn better. And once all of this is done, everyone, the next step is we will walk through the entire GLIM content. So we read GLIM content word by word. And I'll show you when we do GLIM content word by word, what is the next step that we do? We will basically read the entire book, and we will also highlight on the go. So I'll show you something like this. So you will all have your digital books, so you can also highlight on the go. So let me just quickly share, everyone. If you see now, this is how the limb content looks like. And this, during the session, we will highlight everything, like, okay, this is how we have studied, this is what we have studied, what are the keywords. If you see, this is how we highlight everything. And once this is done, everyone, the next step is, because you have understood through slides, we have practiced some of the MCQs on the go, we have gone through the GLIM content. Now, this is where our final assessment of MCQ starts. So for every unit that we do, so for example, every unit, there are 10 units. For every unit, we'll practice 30 to 50 MCQs in the class. Now, how does that work, everyone? So there is a Google form link that is shared in the class, which basically you click and then you practice the MCQ. So this is how you get the link, and then you practice all the MCQs. So you get, and this is a time management. This is also learning from a time management activity point of view, because everyone, for 46 questions, you will get 50 minutes in the time in the class. So you have to do all in the class itself, and there will be so many people, others also doing in the same time. So you get habitual in the class itself of practicing these number of MCQs, because when you do at your own pace without the class, sometimes for 46 MCQs, you may even take 2 days, right? Because you will sit for 10 MCQs, then you will leave, then you will sit for 10, 20, then you will leave. But here, because you're time bounded, you will have a habitual understanding of doing MCQs right in the class. So let's take an example here. I'm just giving you an example of Unit 1, wherein we have covered 46 MCQs. Likewise, generally, it's between 30 to 50. Sometimes for a very critical topic, we have done even 75 to 90 MCQs. For example, there's a topic called ethics and professionalism in the unit, in the part one, for which I think we have done more than 90 questions in the class itself, because it contributes 20% for the exam. And like I said, it's a difficult exam, so we have to go much prepared. And so everything we try to do it in the class. Now, everyone, it doesn't just end here, that you have done and it's done. The next step that we do here is, everyone, we will also see how the class is scoring. So if you see here, this is from the previous batch. If you see, there are 26 odd people who have probably submitted the response, 46 MCQ same. We see what is the average score of the class, what is the range of the marks, and then we also discuss each MCQs in the class, that, okay, how much is the percentage of the people making an error in each MCQ, so that we all understand from each other where everyone is going wrong, what is the key learning. So we assess in the class itself, and we take away, and we discuss all the MCQs, these MCQs in the class. So nearly we will cover 400 to 500 MCQs across 10 chapters right in the class where we'll be discussing it. So it gives you a very thorough preparation that way. Okay, so this is how we'll, everyone. So you appear here, and then after you have appeared, we will then discuss and see how we are scoring, and that gives, and then everyone, then there is a homework for you, that you have to go back on the GLIM portal and practice the balance MCQs. But everything that we covered in the class is not just limited to GLIM; it's much beyond, right? So while GLIM acts as a principal document or a principal study material, but then our content is beyond GLIM also, and that's where a lot of additional things are important for exam, which you have to cover in the class. People, like I said, every session is concluded or every unit is completed with things to remember, which is where we have a ritual in the class that I'll read everything which is non-underlined, and you all will read what is underlined. These every underlined word is very, 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 very important for exam. So this also helps you to perform better in the exam, and that's how the unit is completed. So basically, you started with understanding. If you come back, how the entire session series is conducted. The first thing is you started with understanding what are we going to learn, what is important in that. Then you have understood everything from the slides in terms of the concepts, what are the keywords, and then you have practiced some of the MCQs on the go. And then after that, you have also read the entire GLIM content word by word, right? So you've read the entire book. You have highlighted that also what is important. And after that, we didn't stop there also. We have then given you 46 odd MCQs in Unit 1 alone, and then generally 30 to 50, and even in some critical topics, 70, 90 questions in the class. And then you do the questions in the class, and then we discuss also in the class, and then again we come back on the things to remember, and we see, okay, this is my final takeaway things to remember also. So that is the level of coverage that we do in the class, and that is where we have seen everyone that these efforts are really counted for, and that's where the results are maximum, right? And that's where we have probably delivered the best results in the country, and many people from globally have got really, really outstanding results. It's not because we have been lucky that way. We have put really good efforts, and the members have put really good efforts to go through this journey to be a better professional, as well as take it very seriously in terms of the CIE certification program to clear it. And that's where the efforts goes in. So everyone, that's in terms of the coverage on the approach, the session series. Now, just quickly talking about the CIE schedule for the part one, everyone, we will be starting the batch on next week, 6th of December, 2025. We are expecting oddly 24 odd classes for the part one for covering 10 chapters because we are practicing a lot of MCQs in the class. The batch will start from 6th December. It is tentatively supposed to complete by mid of Feb or by end of Feb. And the class timings will be noon time, which is 11:30 a.m. in the afternoon to 2:30 p.m. In the 11:30 a.m. in the morning to 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon. This is India timing, everyone. And generally, it is expected that you keep learning on the go, and you keep learning on the go, and try and appear to the exam within 2 to 3 weeks from the completion of the batch. That is the best time to appear because everything is fresh and intact. The more the time you spend in not touching up or not being consistent, uh, it will only delay your attempt, or you will only lose the confidence on your concepts. People beside this who have who think that okay, you want to expedite your journey to become CIA, the recorded sessions of the previous batch, which is what I was showing you on the LMS, right? For example, here on the LMS, if you see, everything is captured here. So you will be given access to this as well. So now if you want to expedite your journey, let's say if you want to expedite your journey and you don't want to wait for your live session to be completed, I want to just do maybe by mid of January, right? Today we are now end of November. I want to appear by end of December. I want to appear by right beginning of January. If you want to do that, yeah, that is also doable because now we have the live, just the previous batch being recorded, so you can leverage the recording for that and appear it. This live batch, we keep updating things and we keep sharing. But we have recently conducted, so there will be no such major update. Anything that comes any which ways become part, you will all be part of the WhatsApp group, so you it is shared there. But more or less it's inclined to what we have done for the first time, so you can leverage the recording and you can sort of expedite your journey to clear it also. A lot of people prefer to go in the live batch, so the live batch is also there, which can also be, which of course we will be doing to keep improvising better in terms of the content, in terms of the delivery, and which can be leveraged also. Plus, at the same time, if you want to expedite your journey to clear it, you can look at the previous batch recordings also to kind of do it faster. And in fact, by March, you can target to clear all the parts also by looking at just the recordings also. All right. So that's in terms of the schedule of the classes. People, this is the detailed schedule. So today we are on 29th November. We are doing an orientation program today. People from next week, 6th December to onwards, we will be doing these sessions. Uh, uh, we will be doing sessions back to back, and this timing will be 11:30 to 2:30, and we're tentatively expecting it to complete by 22nd of Feb. This is tentative, everyone. Sometimes based on the speed of the class, it can go more or it can go less also. So that's the schedule, everyone. Now, I have to. I would like to also touch upon the cost of the course. So, everyone, we are an authorized learning partner of IIA, and so there is a tri-party agreement between IIA India, Global Professional Certification as a learning partner, and the GLIM. And in order to that, to do that, we have a discounted pricing for the GLIM content, and which is where we give you a package deal of the classes and the GLIM content, and the standard pricing that we charge is 65,000 plus taxes. But at this point of time, there's a discounted pricing which is going on, which is 50,000 plus taxes for all parts and 20,000 plus tax, which is 19,999 is nothing but 20K. So 20K plus tax for each part. That includes also the GLIM content as the pricing from Global Professional Certification. If we compare it to the GLIM content, everyone, if you just go and buy the GLIM test book and the digital book, which is package of your this pricing, only the digital book and the test bank will cost you 43,400 alone, which is $499. And if you also go with video lectures of the GLIM as a publisher, it will cost you nearly over a lakh. Plus the currency conversion cost, plus the payment charges, payment gateway charges, and so on and so forth, right? So it is much expensive. Plus, what you get in the class is much, much, much more, including the GLIM content, plus the sessions that I do, plus the PPT slides, plus the additional MCQs on the LMS included, plus the GLIM content. So it's a very, very visible advice to kind of go through it. Now, of course, you can also choose to kind of do a self-study also, everyone. But the only request that I have here is, you want to do a self-study, please go ahead with it, but carefully prepare for this because it's an expensive exam. Every time you go for the exam, you have to pay 20,000 plus to appear for the exam. So it's advisable that you should go with preparation, because every time you go and appear, it is a cost that almost is the exam entire preparation fee that you pay for the exam. And every time you go, you will have to repay the same amount. There's no discounted price in terms of the examination fee. So that's in terms of the course fee. People, these are some of the testimonials that you see. That the people who have passed the CIA from Global Professional Certification, from various organizations. We are an authorized IA learning partner, and these are various events wherein a lot of our people who have passed have been recognized as a CIA. So if you see all of these photos, these are people who have got recognized in the national conferences. Generally, what happens is every time whenever people pass in a respective year, respective chapters also recognize in their AGMs, or they also recognize in their national conferences, as a felicitation program. So these are all part of our IA magazines, IA events, wherein our people have got felicitated from the community for their CIA program. Everyone, our students are from top corporates, almost like 250 plus corporates, right from London Stock Exchange to Big Fours to national to Cognizance of the world, to Essentials of the world, to American Express, to Citibank, so JP Morgan to HSBC. Um, it's almost so many of them. Honestly, I would also not remember all of them, but it's all from the top corporates. You can have access to everything on the Global Professional Certification website. People, if you click on this, you can just straight away to go to the Global Professional Certification website, and this is where you can get to know everything in terms of the course. You can look at the success stories. You can listen to people what they are saying in terms of the course. You can look at the WhatsApp screenshots. These are all honest feedbacks, everyone, and also if anything is in terms of coming in terms of the course. So this is all, everyone, from my end. I think this is on the spot of the time of the orientation program. I'll keep now the forum open for any Q&A. I'll come back to the coverage, everyone. I think on time I've been able to cover everything in terms of the coverage that we were supposed to do. Just one thing, everyone, in terms of the global audit standards, it's already applicable now for the new syllabus from 28th of May 2025. Everything that is happening in the CIA world for certification, part-wise especially, it is all going through the new global audit standards. So our course is updated and we have to prepare in line to the new global audit standards, right? So open house now for Q&A. Happy to have you all. Everyone, I'll spend some time for any Q&A, and then we will wrap up the session. Can I request you all to please type in your Q&A in the chat box? Uh, um, Everyone, if you have any Q&A, or are we good to go? Can I quickly see it on the chat box, please? Okay. Okay, so I think there is a couple of questions. I'll just open these questions. All right. So any negative marking is what Subija is asking? No, no negative marking, Subija. Like I said, 80% is what we need to score. There's no negative marking for the exam. Ishani is asking, can we download the PPT slides? No, Ishani, we can't download the PPT slides. It's only accessible from a viewpoint of view. Content, you will not be able to download. There's a very hard work on the content that has gone through PPT slides, or for that matter, GLIM content cannot be downloadable. Okay, what is the duration in the months for each part training? It's nearly 3 months, Aveja. Nearly 3 months is what we spend on part one, and nearly 3 months for part two. But part three may be relatively much lesser because of the number of chapters being less. So part one being 3 months, part two may even extend up to 4 months also. And aside this, like I said, there are recorded classes which can be used for expediting the journey. Right. So you can, because these sessions are only happen on Saturday and Sunday. And so it takes some time to kind of complete in terms of thorough learning. But the recorded are very easy to leverage. So if you want to leverage every day, if you do one session, there are 24 sessions, right, for part one. So you can complete the entire part one in, let's say, nearly 40, 45 days, like 24 days to cover once, another 5, 10 days to revise once, and maybe one final revision before you go for the exam. So in 45 days, it's easily doable to kind of do and complete it. Vanchika is asking, it will be both Saturday and Sunday. Yes, Vanchika, it will be both Saturday, Sunday in the morning. All right. Sijal is asking now, same question. Kindly explain the difference between um, okay, so I think a couple of question here. Someone is asking whether IAP, internal audit practitioner, CIA part one, both are same. Yes, CIA part one. Once you clear, you can also take the employed practitioner certification from IIA. CIA part one and employed practitioner is one and the same exam. Everyone, it's just that some people can go through IAP route and just appear for the exam and take that certification. People who clear just one part, part one, they can also apply for the IAP, they can also apply for the IAP as employed practitioner certification and get it. But people who have the who have a long-term vision for clearing all the part, it may not be needed. But let's say if you want to expedite to get some certification on your resume, it is it uh, you can take that, but there's a cost involved for, of course, the employed practitioner certification. I think there is going to be nearly maybe $110 or something as a cost that you have to pay for getting the employed practitioner certification also. Now, in terms of challenge exam versus part-wise exam, CCI challenge exam and part-wise exam, it like I said, certification is same. It is just that for challenge exam, you have a one-shot exam that can be appeared. Uh, People, can you all hear me? Everyone, can you all hear me? Yes.
Yes, yes.
All right, great.
Yes, we
All right.
can.
All right. So coming back to it, so coming back to challenge exam versus part-wise exam, challenge exam is a one-shot exam wherein all the three parts related content is tested in the exam, 150 MCQs, 3 hours exam. Too much of content to appear, but a one-shot exam to go. But it's an expensive exam. So for CIA, people who are and this exam can be only given for people who are chartered accountants, ACCA qualified, CPA qualified, CISA qualified, like that. So if you are qualified like that, you can go for one-shot exam, but there are specific windows for this exam. For example, the last window that was opened was still active till 15th October, based on which you could appear in November and Feb 26. So now there's no window open. Now next window will probably open maybe next year, and then you can probably appear in maybe April or June next year, but that too in new syllabus. Um, it's too not it at this point of time, it's not clear at all what will be the syllabus of the new syllabus in the CII challenge exam. So I strongly not recommend people to go for CI challenge exam. If you're thinking now, had you been thinking nearly end of September or first week of October, you could have appeared in November before 15th of October. You could have appeared in November for CI challenge exam, or by latest by February 26, which would be the last attempt, but that would happen under the old syllabus. But the cost of reappearing for the CI challenge exam is very high. So for CI challenge exam, everyone, we pay nearly $1,000 odd for the exam, and if we are not able to clear, we again pay nearly $600 odd too for the exam. So, and this is for people from CA background, people who go CA, ACCA, CPA background, people who go from CISA background, the fees is much, much higher there. So that's about the CI challenge exam. And again, 80% to clear. difficult to clear all of that. But yes, it's good for people who have good experience. Let's say people who are already employed, had 20, 25 years experience already, less time. Now they want to go and appear for one exam. At that point of time, it's okay. But now, at this point of time, if you ask me, like I said, better to go with part-wise because the new syllabus in CI exam is uncertain. How the exam will come, how the pattern will come, it's very, very unpredicted at this point of time. It's not even officially announced, if you ask me. So I hope this is clear. I think Poovi have just now covered the CIA challenge exam versus part-wise exam. Amit is asking whether employed practitioner and CIA part one both are same. I've covered this. What is CIA challenge and how is it different parts? I've covered this. I think all of it I've covered. Whether employed practitioner and CIA part one both are same. I've covered. Which study material we can print? The GLIM study material you can print. The digital books you can print. Okay. Deepti is asking now, you spoke about declaration based upon verification. After all parts are cleared, can you explain more on this? So Deepti, what we have just now spoke about it, that there is a experience submission that we have to do, right? Because CIA is something wherein we have to submit, declare the experience that we have. As per the CIA eligibility, it says that you can enroll for the course just being graduate or a postgraduate, whatever you have, but the certificate will only be issued once you have at least 1 year of experience if you are a postgraduate and at least 2 years of experience if you are a undergrad. Now, that's a declaration based experience submission. So you basically go on your CCMS portal, submit that, okay, you have experience with this company from this period to this period in which you have done this type of work. And it goes to either your supervisor. You can trigger that email to your supervisor, mention their email ID, and once they approve, it gets automatically uploaded. Or you can send it to any other CIA member, qualified CIA, to whose email ID this goes and gets approved and it gets updated in the record. Generally, IA doesn't ask for the proof of experience. It is given as a trust to their supervisors and other CIA members to kind of review this and make and look at it. So that's about the declaration-based experience thing. Okay. Maria is asking, though the units are lesser in part 3, why do people struggle to pass, sir? Is this true and how do we prepare, sir? So Maria, I would suggest you're on the spot. This is especially that we are seeing in the new syllabus. Part one, part two scores are part one score is far better than part three so far. A lot of things that are related to part one, part two can also be asked sometimes in part three. So probably that's one of the reasons who have jumped straight away into part three. Probably part one, part two related concepts are coming, and so part three is difficult and getting passed. At the same time, we are also seeing overall the part three results are low at this point of time in the new syllabus. So I think how do we prepare? We have to just prepare better. We should also look at the part one, part two content before going for part three because the chapters are less. Uh, and if we have gone through part one, part two, to some extent, part three becomes a little stronger. And then, of course, a focused learning on part three can probably help us better. But again, you're right. Part three syllabus in the new syllabus comparatively is not coming as better as compared to part one, part two as of now. Pradeep is asking MCQs will be objective based or descriptive of lengthy. So generally it's a 3 to 4 lines MCQs, Pradeep. These are scenario based questions as well, and it is objective based. So you have 4 options to appear. You have to read and choose the best of it available. Deepti is now asking how about 30 days window after first exam is over? So 30 days window starts, Deepti, when we are not able to clear it. So let's say if I appeared on today, 29th of November, I will only be able to appear um, sorry, I will only be appear after 30 days. That's when I can appear again for the part one exam. But in meantime, if I want to appear part two, part three, I am feel free to appear. So 30 days window is only after not the first exam is over. In case you are not able to clear, if you are able to clear, the next day I can appear part two. I mean, any which ways I can appear part two, part three anytime, right? Because like I said, it's not interlinked that only after part one you can go for part two. I can appear part one today. I can appear part one in the morning today. I can appear part two in the evening today. That's not a problem. Only thing is that center should have the vacancy to kind of schedule the exam. But it is not an interrelated part. But in any part that I'm not able to clear, be it part one, part two, part three, any part that I'm not able to clear, I will have to take a necessary cooling off period for 30 days to appear for the exam. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now, Mamnool is saying class time seen on office time. I am from Bangladesh. I'm not class time seen on office time. I'm not sure, Manmul, what are you saying? I think you're saying that probably Saturday is your working day, and that's why it is probably your office time. That could be case for some of the Indian folks also people, and for that recording is there, and that's the best you can leverage. Okay. Now Gaurav is saying for the GLIM content as compared to the content mentioned in the book, the GLIM MCQ seems to touch upon much more, and sometimes seems the content in the book is not sufficient. Can you please guide on the same? So Gaurav, and that for that purpose, we try to prefer whatever is covered in the class plus the MCQs that we give in the class as to be seen as first priority. And if you have time to cover the balance MCQs, so that you don't skip anything. But otherwise, you're right. GLIM sometimes has much more extra content and much more extra MCQs. But whatever is covered in the class is more exam oriented, and that is bare minimum to be covered. And our MCQs are beyond GLIM also. So whatever we cover in the class, it's again very important. So that is something if you cover, it has much more fair chances to clear the exam. Okay. What is 40 CP hours training? Can you clarify on maintenance fee? All right. So DT 40 CP hours is to maintain the CIA program. So any CI, any global certification, or for that matter, any qualification, if you look at it, you have some CP hours, which is continuing professional education. Training and continuing professional education is something that you need to keep doing, right, to be relevant in terms of that area of work that you're doing. So for employee, it is 40 CPRs, including 2 hours of ethics training, is what you need to do every year. And also, once you have cleared the CIA exam, you have to also pay annually $35 plus taxes to maintain the CIA certification. Also, plus you also need to pay your annual membership fee for your respective chapters. So that's going to be every year. All right. So I think this is clear. Harsh is now asking, can I buy a question bank only? No, Harsh, there's no provision to buying a question bank. And I'm not sure if you're referring to GLIM question bank or you're referring to the question bank of what is there on the LMS, but there's no such provision of just buying the question bank. Now, how many years we can have access to CCMS of GLIM and global geo? Okay. So in terms of CGLIM, it's valid for 18 months after you have activated your codes. And so your GLIM access stays relevant for 18 months. Global professional certification supports you until you pass the exam. You can always look for, like I said, if you start now, you can look at the previous batch recording. You can attend the live recording. If you're not able to do it now, next time, whenever the batch happens, you can attend for free. There's no extra cost for that. We want our people to pass. Sujit is asking what's the fees for recorded class only. There's no difference in fee for recorded class or live class. It's the same fee that is charged, is what I know. All right. Now moving on to Amit, whether India CIA provide any study material post registration? No. For CIA partwise, there's no content that is provided by IA India or for that matter IA Global. For CIA Challenge, there's some content that IA provides, but not for partwise. Asif is now asking how long it takes to complete all the parts. Like I said, Asif, if you go with the recorded version of it, you can do it in 2 to 3 months time. It depends on how much effort you can put. But if you look at the live lectures, probably the journey could be between 6 to 9 months easily. um, Now someone is asking 18 months for GLIM access is individually for each part from the date given access to each part individual. So you get access whenever you activate the code, from then 18 months starts, right? So for example, part one you have activated now, you get 18 months. Let's say part two code you activate 3 months down the line,
Mhm.
your 18 months start from 3 months later. Okay. I hope this is clear. Any other questions? I'll be happy to answer everyone. Or are we good to go? Um, are we good to go? Can I quickly see on the chat box GTG? Everyone, can you write in GTG good to go on the chat box if you're good to go? All right, great. So thank you, everyone. I think it was lovely having you all. Thank you so much for your time. It was pleasure having you all. For any other additional queries, you can reach out to Natik from the team. You can follow our page and you can reach out on the website under the contact us page also. And this can help you with the phone number. You can submit the inquiry and someone from the team can reach out to you. But that's all for today, everyone. Thank you so much for joining and have a good weekend ahead. All the best in whatever you're doing. Good luck, everyone. Bye bye. Thank you.